Hello and welcome back to Best Era Football. This is the Monday night game, the final game of week number 3. And today we have one of the few remaining undefeated teams in the 1993 Dallas Cowboys visiting the 1998 Arizona Cardinals. So this is a champion versus a team that by all statistical evidence should not have made the playoffs, but in 1998 not only did the Cardinals make the playoffs, but they actually took down, convincingly even, the 98 Dallas Cowboys, which were heavily favored to win that game. So they have a history of surprising very good Dallas Cowboys teams. Of course, that 98 Cowboy team was not as good as this 93 team, obviously, but there is a history there, and let's see if the Cardinals can pull off the major upset here today. Look at the Cowboys are ranked 7th in offense, 11th in defense. Pretty good start for them.
Thank you, Larry. It hosted Super Bowls 42 and 49. And it's University of Phoenix Stadium.
There's look at Larry Centers getting the crowd fired up for this one.
It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go.
So you'll see some of the scores below. I believe at this point there are 4 or 5 of each undefeated and winless teams. Here's Troy Aikman coming out. He has 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in the first 2 games, 571 yards. A nice completion percentage up around 69%. The Arizona Cardinals are 1-1, so if the Cardinals can win, both these teams will be at 2-1. If the Cowboys win, then they remain in first place and undefeated, while the Cardinals will fall to 1-2. Aikman will throw that one out of bounds, and that's how the game starts. Here is your offense. The Dallas Cowboys bring Mark Tuinei, Nate Newton, Stepnowski, Edwards, and you saw the backup tackle in for Eric Williams is injured right now. Emmett Smith, Alvin Harper, and Michael Irvin are the skill positions along with Jay Novacek. So look at Pat Tillman. There's a handoff to Emmett Smith. He's across the 25, across the 30, or up to the 30 where he's taken down by Pat Tillman. Let's see if we'll show you the Cardinals defense. We will. Mark Smith in the middle, Andre Wadsworth and Simeon Rice are on the edges. Terry Irving, Ronald McKinnon, Jamar Miller, and Tony McCombs. Linebackers Pat Tillman and Bennett are your safeties. Aeneas Williams is a great corner, and Corey Chavis is a young corner with a solid future ahead of him. One man you'll see missing on the defensive line is big Eric Swan. So the Cardinals are without Swan. The Cowboys are without Williams. That sort of offsets, although Williams is more of a dominant tackle than Swan is as a dominant D tackle. See, Aikman drops back here, and Jameer Miller able to attack. That's exactly where big Eric Williams would be. So the Cardinals come out focused to attack the injury that the Cowboys are dealing with, which is their right tackle. And a sack on the first possession. There is almost a fumbled snap by the punter, but he does it away. He gets it out to the 25, so good job by the Cowboys on that play.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Cards will take over.
Here comes Jake the Snake Plummer. Only 59% near 313 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions so far in 2 games. Now, Plummer did go out for a minor injury, and then the backup, Dave Brown, came in and got a more significant injury. So that's another injury the Cardinals are dealing with, is to their backup quarterback, who's out for another few weeks, possibly another month. So Plummer needs to stay healthy.
That's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And you know, oftentimes the guy guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping.
2nd and 2 coming up for the Cardinals.
Telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
Turn and hand off again, and this time he fights forward. Adrian Morrell will fall forward, I believe, for a first down. Let's take a look at the starters. Lomas Brown's a big tackle. Dishman, Graham, Holmes, and Dexter are the other offensive linemen. Adrian Morrell and Mario Bates will get plays. Metcalf and Sanders, 2 of the receivers. Rob Moore, another fantastic receiver that will come out when they go 3 wide receivers. A lot of times Moore will play when there's only 2 receivers, and Metcalf is the 3rd receiver. Here's a handoff to Morrell again, and he's stopped again. Nice play by the Dallas Cowboy defense as they stop him on 3rd and inches. And the Cardinals will have to punt.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the
See,
Cowboys
Pittsburgh got their first win of the year by beating the 85 Bears. Both those teams are now 1 and 2.
Well hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it first.
And Dallas goes out for their 2nd drive. Play action pass now. Aikman turns, fires, and it's intercepted and returned for a touchdown. That is the start the Cardinals needed. For those that don't believe the Cardinals have any chance against the 93 champions here, that's how they did it. Again, statistically, they were not top 20 in either offense or defense in 1998. But things like that, turnovers at the right times, a lot of clutch comebacks. I want to say they won something like 5 games by 3 points or less. A few of those on last second kicks or overtime kicks. So, I mean, this is a team that just willed their way into the playoffs, and then once they got there, willed their way past the Dallas Cowboys, and here they are. They've already gotten 1 win, so they're not one of those winless teams of best era of football. And now they've shocked the Cowboys early with a pick 6. And Aikman comes out. Cowboys are at -7 total yards, and they've given up 7 points to the Arizona defense. Maybe Jimmy Johnson wants to change up his game plan a little bit.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 4 catches, 66 yards.
And they think they have a matchup advantage.
Michael Irvin up to 192 yards in the first 2 weeks of the season.
I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to
Aeneas Williams and Michael Irvin, that will be a matchup that we'll want to pay attention to today. And here is another sack by the Cardinals. Bennett does not fall for the play action at all. Goes straight after Aikman and takes him down. Look at this play action. Emmett not buying it. Bennett comes in, safety blitz, takes him down. That's the 2nd sack. The Dallas offense has been sacked twice and picked off once by this Arizona defense, who has come to play today. Aikman from the shotgun now in trouble again. He delivers it to Irvin, but short of the first down. And the Cardinals have forced their 2nd punt, so the Cowboys have come out. Punt, pick 6, punt. That's how their offensive day has gone so far.
Immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield.
And this punt is a very good one inside the 5. Will it stop? It does not. It rolls into the end zone for a touchback.
Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have.
2 tight end set. Mick Williams goes in motion. They will hand off to Morrell again.
Just a yard on the first down.
The Cardinals have run 4 offensive plays. All 4 have been rushes. And Morrell's gotten 10 yards off those 4 carries.
They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now.
Now it's a play action pass, and Plummer will go to the air and complete to his big tight end McWilliams for a first down.
It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a set of downs.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself,
Sanders now in motion. And they'll turn the handoff to Morale again. He's thrown down to the ground behind the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play there, second down.
Here's a look at the Dallas defense. Tolbert, Maryland, and Charles Haley across the line. They have Ken Norton, and Dixon Edwards, and Darren Smith, as well as Robert Jones as the linebackers. Thomas Everett and Darren Woodson are the safeties. Kevin Smith and Larry Brown are the corners.
And we're a tough team to solve for everyone who tried to move the ball against
Tony Casillas, the defensive lineman. Well, that wasn't shown because the Cowboys primarily play 4-3, even though that lineup showed you only 3 linemen and 4 backers.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
3rd and 6 now.
Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in it.
Plummer back to pass. He'll go underneath, and the Dallas Cowboys do a good job of coming up and making the tackle, so the Cardinals will have to punt again.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive.
And this punt is also too strong, and a touchback the other way.
They were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
So Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys will come out.
That's true.
3 ineffective drives so far. But, of course, they are a talented offense, and so 7 points is not enough to think that they're in trouble yet. Aikman decides to run on first down, and he gets all the way up to the 29-yard line.
Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard.
And now they'll give it to Emmett Smith, who makes a nice spin move and gets out to the 38-yard line. Emmett Smith last week, 73 yards on 22 carries. He has 141 yards so far, but he has not found the end zone yet.
I'm eager to see if they decide to back him off a little bit. Personally, I hand it to him 20-plus times again. When a running back's locked in like he is,
play action pass now. Aikman looking deep downfield, and it's going to be intercepted for the 2nd time. This time it's the youngster Corey Chavis with the pick. Aeneas Williams, the shutdown corner, on one side. He's got Michael Irvin, but Aikman decides to try the kid, Corey Chavis, against Alvin Harper, but he comes up huge with the interception. Aikman did not get as much on that ball as he wanted to, and the Cardinals have already forced 2 turnovers here. There's a handoff from Morale again. He fights his way back up to the line of scrimmage. He actually fell forward enough to consider it a 1-yard gain. This is why you play the games. Again, every team in the best era of football is a playoff team. The stats say the 93 Cowboys were much better than the 98 Cardinals, but both these teams made the playoffs. Of course, the Cowboys did go on to win the Super Bowl, whereas the Cardinals only won 1 playoff game. But hey, if you play a playoff game every single time you go out there, a couple turnovers like the Cowboys have done today, and you might just lose. Cowboys come all out on that one. Plummer had nothing to do but go down. Darren Smith gets credit for the sack. And the Cardinals have not moved the ball much, but at least at this point they're figuring if they keep forcing turnovers from the Cowboys, it's more important that they just not turn the ball over themselves. And that'll keep them in front. It's worked so far, but we've only gone 1 quarter out of 4. Aikman comes back now. Emmett behind him. He will give it to Emmett Smith, who leaps over a man on the ground but gets caught in the air and thrown to the ground for a 1-yard gain.
That was a really nice play, able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and
Cowboys.
make a hit on the runner.
And there's Aikman to Jay Novacek for the first down.
Pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier
High
completions.
formation now for the Cowboys.
Last drive there, he hits the
Big Moose
reliable
Johnson
target.
out there in front of Emmitt Smith. They will give it to another play action pass. And Aikman gets sacked for the third time. Swinger comes up with a nice play, and that is how the first quarter ends. So Aikman has been dropped 3 times for sacks. Twice he's been picked off, including a pick 6. It's been all Arizona defense in the first quarter, and the Cardinals lead 7-0. Emmitt Smith runs over 2 Cardinals. The third one brings him down. Emmitt Smith now 4 carries for 16 yards. But it is 3rd and 16 that the Cowboys are looking at now. Play action pass. Aikman. Waiting, still waiting, rolls out. Now he fires it down the sideline, and it's complete for a first down. He finds Alvin Harper for 24 yards. Aikman bought time. And finally, Alvin Harper came loose, and he found him into Arizona territory. Here's the handoff to Emmitt Smith. He gets a block. He gets across the 30, the 20, 1 man to beat, 10, 5, and that's Emmitt Smith's first touchdown in best era football. And he wants to hear it from the crowd as he has just tied this thing up. Emmitt Smith, the great running back of the Dallas Cowboys. And Murray comes out to hit the extra point, and we are tied 7-7 here in the second quarter.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, almost like big bolts of lightning.
Excuse me. Also, the Cardinals, I knew they weren't going to live on a 7-0 lead forever. They're going to have to put some offense together at some point here. So far, very quick drives. I think the Cardinals have 1 first down so far. Plummer play action. He's going to roll out to the right. He's looking to go deep, but everyone's covered, so he'll run with it. And he gets an 8-yard gain, 9 yards actually on the scramble. That brings up 2nd and 1. Play action pass, Plummer in trouble, and down he goes. That's a fumble, and the Dallas Cowboys pick it up and return it for a touchdown. So that evens things as far as defensive touchdowns go. The Cardinals got one early. Everett picks up that fumble and returns it for a touchdown. And now the Cowboys, just like that, have gone from being down 7 to up 7. As within 1 minute, the Cowboys score 14 points and now lead 14-7.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up.
Now, if the Cowboys win, they go 3-0, remain tied with teams such as the 88 Bengals and 98 Vikings as the best team in the best era of football, and stay in first place. If they lose, they drop to 2-1, which puts them in a 3-way tie with the 91 Redskins and 1990 Eagles in their division. If the Cowboys lost, that would mean the Cardinals would win, so the Cardinals also would go into a 3-way tie at 2-1. They'd be tied with the 89 49ers and the 99 St. Louis Rams. If the score holds as is, the Cardinals lose, they drop to 1 and 2, puts them in 3rd place, tied with the 84 Seahawks. And like I said, the Cowboys would be in 1st place at 3-0.
A little too much air under that one. That could have easily been 6 points.
Yeah, what kind of speed he has is almost impossible, we think, to actually overthrow him. But he did exactly that. I think he probably tried to get it out there maybe just a little bit too quickly.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will be brought down.
Morrell powers forward for another 2 yards. He has 12 yards on 8 carries. And now it's 3rd and 8 for the Cardinals. Plummer takes it. He'll roll out and then sling it off his back foot. Very dangerous pass, and it's picked off. And he breaks a tackle and all the way down into Arizona territory. Brock Marion with the interception and the return up to the 45-yard line. And just like that, the turnovers are now 2-2. Very ill-advised throw by Jake Plummer. And now the Cardinals defense is going to have to come up with something just to stop this game from turning into a blowout, as the last 3 minutes have been a disaster for the Cardinals.
And he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Aikman now from the shotgun.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw.
He steps up, moves over, fires downfield, and he's got his man all the way down inside the red zone. That's big Michael Irvin with a 25-yard reception. And the Cowboys now are inside the red zone, already up by 7. Really trying to capitalize on another turnover and kind of put the doubt in the mind of the Cardinals for sure.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Single back now. Emmett's the only one back there. And Aikman will give it to him. He cuts it over to the right. He's inside the 10, stiff arm, down to the 7-yard line. Emmett Smith another 9 yards. He's around 71 yards on just 8 carries. And has found the end zone already once. 1st and goal from the 7. Pitch out to Emmett Smith. And this time he will get caught and brought down. That was not Emmett Smith. That's Lassick who came in to spell Emmett Smith. And Tillman drops him 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Try and check into a pass next time.
Yeah, got him for a loss. Really, really great play defensively.
2nd and goal from the 12 now. It's a hand up to Lassick again, and he's in there for the touchdown. Nice run there. And that is the Cowboys going up by 14. Well, 13 leading to the extra point. But wait, it is holding on the Cowboys. So no touchdown. That's Dale Hallistray, who was already a victim of giving up a sack on their first drive. He now has called for a holding penalty, taking away a touchdown. So Cowboys certainly are missing their big Pro Bowl tackle, Eric Williams. Aikman now will turn, he'll hand off, and that doesn't work anywhere near as well as Emmett is brought down behind the line. That brings up 3rd and goal from the 22-yard line.
Brings up a pretty interesting 3rd from this distance. I'm throwing the ball, and I'm not even thinking about playing pass.
Aikman roll out to the right, and he'll sling it towards the sideline, but really just throws it out of bounds. And out comes the field goal kicker, trying to make this a 10-point game. Kick is up, and it is good.
10 now, 17-7.
So the 93 Cowboys lead the 98 Cardinals by 10 now.
And you know, let's face it, you're not always going to come away with 6. Defense in the NFL are just too good. But you've got to come away with something. And there, they get 3.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we're having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted.
Oh, Adrian Morrell takes a shot from Darren Woodson as he was trying to spin his way into the first down. Darren Woodson just cracked him. inches short of the first down. And this brings up 3rd and inches. The Cardinals must get this first down here. Things are spiraling out of control. They have to get a legitimate drive. Even if it's no points, they have to take some time off the clock. There's a handoff to Larry Centers, and he will get the first down on his first carry of the afternoon. Or night. It's Monday night, sorry.
They get 5 out of that one, and he moves the chains.
3rd and inches, just turn around, hand it to the big guy, and let him plow forward and pick up the first down.
Jake Plummer will play action. Fake it here. Roll out, sling it downfield across the middle, and that was dangerous and almost picked off again.
I think they block harder because they love seeing that guy get the ball because he doesn't touch it very often. Well, nearly another interception there. That would
Take a look at the hard-hitting safety, Darren Woodson.
He's got to start taking care of the ball way better.
Plummer from the shotgun now. He'll turn, he'll hand it to Moreau, and the Cowboys are all over this. That is a loss of 1. Brings up 3rd and 11.
No gain on the last attempt. Here they get him behind the line.
Defense is winning this game really at the point of attack. The offensive
Plummer
line
from the shotgun. Now here comes the blitz. Marion chasing Plummer, and he will get him for the sack. And the Cardinals will have to punt.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally,
Cowboys defense starting to impose their will on the Arizona offense.
I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think there's still a long way to go in this football game.
That punt's a little too strong, so the Cowboys will take over at the 20. 2.5 minutes to go. Already up by 10. The way things are starting to spiral out of control here, the Cardinals would certainly agree to get into the locker room down by 10. They do not want to be down by more than that, but here's a huge hole for Emmitt Smith. He gets a first down. He's up to 81 yards now, averaging 8 yards a carry. We're at the 2-minute warning. After a quick start by the Arizona Cardinals defense, forcing a couple turnovers, it's been all Dallas. 17 unanswered points. And the Cardinals just can't get to the locker room fast enough to regroup. Aikman fires downfield, and he's got his man up to the 45-yard line.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Through the air and a first down.
Aikman from the shotgun now.
Experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose it,
Aikman will go short to Emmitt Smith, but Tillman all over. Emmitt will not let him get away and drags him down.
I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
He'll look to throw.
Screen pass coming here. Complete to Emmitt Smith, but very nicely dealt with by the corner, Aeneas Williams. He's one of the best, and he was fighting through tacklers to bring Emmitt Smith down on that one. And because it's 3rd and 7, neither team wants to call a timeout, so we are under 1 minute to go. Aikman has 5 options, split wide, nobody back there with him. The line gives him time, though. Now he'll spin out, looking for more time. He might tuck it and run here. He does tuck it. He gets hammered right at the first down marker. He might not have got the first down. They're going to say he's inches short. So he took a shot and did not get the first down. Comes up inches short. And the Cowboys will punt. Cardinals not willing to call timeout and give the Cowboys a chance to think about it. We will just go to the locker room after one more play. Probably a kneel by Jake Plummer here. And he does come out in the kneeling formation. And there we go. We're going into the locker room at the end of the first half. The 93 Dallas Cowboys lead the 1998 Arizona Cardinals by the score of 17-7. We're going to go ahead and skip that and get right back to action. Cardinals need a drive here, need to take some time off the clock. At the very least, get points would be even better. 93 Cowboys over the 92 Cowboys. Well, basically it's because I find that I did that with almost all the teams in that situation. So I went with the 89 49ers, the 98 Broncos, 93 Cowboys. It just seemed like they were a team that was coming off of a Super Bowl, and then even though they were the champs with targets on their back, they went through that whole season and repeated. So I don't know, in my mind, it just gives them a little bit more credit being able to repeat. It seems like the second year is harder in my mind, so being able to do that, just the way I think, makes me think that they were even a stronger team. Also, they had Eric Williams, and the 92 Cowboys did not. Although, Eric Williams is currently injured, as he's got injured in the first game of Best Era Football, first week.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them.
Both teams were great, obviously. And I stayed away from the 95 Cowboys because I know there's people on multiple teams, but I wanted Dion to only be on the Falcons.
And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45.
The 98 Cardinals was really the only team that was any good between 84 and 2000 for the Cardinals, so that was, I really was limited with the Cardinals, but the 98 team was kind of fun in that they were almost a miracle team that they even made the playoffs. So hopefully Christmas Eve was good. Hopefully you have a good Christmas as well tomorrow. Got a better defense. Yeah, I think
that catch good for 5. It's third down. The Cardinals on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 4.
Yeah, I think statistically, I think the 92 Cowboys were a better team. I don't know. I just thought the 93 Cowboys were more of a polished team, and when it was all over, it was like, oh, the 92 Cowboys were the best team, and that's why they won the Super Bowl. But it felt like the 93 season, the season started in the middle and at the end, the entire year. You knew who the best team in football was, and it was the Cowboys.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball, because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better.
But, of course, there's not much difference between the two teams. I mean, you still have, you know, all the big names on offense. And most of the guys are still on defense. But there is Jake Plummer finding McWilliams. And the Cardinals are going to make this a game. That's exactly what they needed. A touchdown to start the second half. And the Cardinals pull within 4. And Nedney's going to come out to try to make it a 3-point game. He does indeed. So 8 plays, 71 yards, takes just over 5 minutes off the clock. And the Cardinals are within 3 of the Cowboys. So I don't know how much of this Best Era Football you've been able to watch so far, Brian, but you'll see some of the scores. This is the Monday night game of Week 3, so the other Week 3 scores will flash across the bottom. The Cowboys are 2-0 right now, so trying to be one of the teams that goes to 3-0. I think there is 5 others so far. So if the Cowboys win, they can consider themselves one of the 6 best teams so far. Early in the season, of course, it's only Week 3. But their division is loaded. I mean, the 91 Redskins and 86 Giants also won championships. And that 1990 Eagles team is a pretty serious defense to play against, so it won't be easy winning that division. Troy Aikman threw 2 interceptions in the first 3 drives of this one. He's definitely played better since then.
Watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? Guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about
Aikman play action pass now. He's going to roll out to the right, and then he's going to take off and run for it. And he gets hit and fumbles the football. Not sure exactly what he's doing, but the Cardinals have their 3rd turnover. And this is starting to maybe painfully remind you of the 1998 Cardinals team who beat the Dallas Cowboys in a surprise in that playoff game. Jake Plummer. Now he's going to run. See if he fumbles. No, he gets a first down and he slides. So Jake Plummer, the better scrambler than Troy Aikman, is what Best Era Football is teaching us here. Play action pass now. Plummer, he'll sling it down the middle. He finds McWilliams again. The Cowboys are not covering the tight end, and he's making them pay. They're already in field goal range. The Cardinals are going to try to take the lead here. Play action pass. Oh, nice blitz pickup there. Jake Plummer from the 10, 5, and then he fumbles the football. And I think the Cowboys got it before it went out of bounds. Brock Marion recovered the fumble at the 1-yard line. When are the quarterbacks just going to stay in the pocket? Brock Marion there, he definitely has it before it goes out of bounds. That is, he gets stepped on, so he can't get up and run. Oh, look at this pylon camera. Oh, that doesn't help us see anything. So, back-to-back scrambles. Well, not back-to-back, but I guess on back-to-back possessions, the quarterbacks scramble and fumble the football. See if they'll learn that that's not what they should be doing. Aikman drops back, and he's going to run again. Oh, no, he'll throw it, finally. And complete it to Alvin Harper. And that gets him out of the safety danger zone. Man, Aikman gives the Cardinals a gift, and Jake Plummer gives it right back. And Emmitt Smith runs into Novacek, and that will cause him to get no yards on that carry.
And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there and swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles. No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them.
There's a completion to Novacek for a short gain. I don't know if you saw that score down at the bottom, the 88 Bengals and 96 Packers. That was a ridiculous game that went to overtime. Both teams were undefeated. The Bengals won that one, which I was happy about. So the Packers are no longer undefeated, although the 98 Vikings still are. Aikman's going to run again. And he will maybe pick up the first down. He does. Aikman has scrambled 4 times for 33 yards, but a costly fumble as well. Well, actually, I guess it wasn't that costly. Seemed like it should have been. There's a handoff. And Emmitt Smith picks up another first down, but there's an injury. Don't be on Emmitt Smith. Okay. We'll probably never learn who it's on, but at least it's not on Emmitt.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
Yeah, I definitely, on paper, had the 98 Broncos winning that division. But they are 0-3. Lost to the Chargers in a crazy game that's on. You can see that in the playlist. That was crazy because Elway lit it up. But somehow they lost the game. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, there was turnovers involved, but it was just crazy. There was even some controversy in that one. But they did lose. Then in this week, they lost to the 1990 Buffalo Bills, so that's more of an okay loss, I guess. It was a really close game, but they lost that one. And their other losses against this Dallas Cowboys team. So, I mean, those are 2 champions going at it. Somebody had to lose. But 0-3, yeah, it's a surprise. The Browns, I went with the 1986 Cleveland Browns. Kevin Mack and Ernest Biner combination. Here's a screen pass to Emmitt Smith. Oh, nice stiff arm. That was awesome. Emmitt Smith just throws the man off him and gets the first down.
A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was
The Cleveland Browns, what did they do? They actually lost this week, so they lost in overtime, I want to say. So they are 1-2. Yeah, well, you know, the Broncos are my second favorite team, and always my favorite ever quarterback. And those games in the 80s, the Browns against the Broncos, were pretty amazing. So I had to try to recreate some of that. Although I went with the 98 Broncos, I know the 98 Broncos are far better than those 80 Broncos were, where it was basically all Elway. And I fought with myself because I really wanted to put those late 80s Broncos teams in there, but I went with the better team. And I do like Terrell Davis, so if they didn't have Terrell Davis, I probably would have threw the Super Bowls aside and went with the 80 Broncos, but I couldn't do it. Oh, really? Okay, well, that's interesting. Yeah, if we, in Sack to the Future, if we ever get there, that's going to be a lot of fun. Elway and Kosar matchups.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play.
Uh-oh, this is going to be blocked. Oh, the Cardinal. Look at that. That's the first time I've seen a block not be a touchdown. It was blocked, but then... Is that Bernie Kosar? showing some amazing speed? That was crazy. Crazy good recovery by the Cowboys to stop it from being a touchdown at least. Yeah, I mean, I had to pick the 98 Broncos. It's the best team they've ever had. But they're 0-3, so maybe I should have went with the 86 or 87 or 89 Broncos. Well, there's Bernie Kosar basically saving the day, sort of. I mean, it's amazing. The Cowboys, if you count that block kick as a turnover, I don't think they do officially, but in a way you could say it's a turnover. So that's 4 turnovers. But they're still winning 17-14. A lot closer game than I thought it would be.
They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 11.
Oh, look at that diving catch. Is that Frank Sanders, I believe? Jake Plummer. Yes, it is Frank Sanders. He was a Pro Bowl receiver that year. Look at that. Burns the corner. Safety can't get over in time. And Jake the Snake, this is what he did in 98. He was kind of pathetic, or at least average at best for 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden the 4th quarter would happen and he would turn into a superstar. But there he runs and fumbles the ball like an idiot, so he is not quite the superstar that he needs to be in the 4th quarter. That's his 3rd fumble. I don't know if that means today. It's at least his 2nd today. Did he get fumbled early on a sack? That might be his 3rd fumble today. My gosh. The Cardinals turning it over just as often as the Cowboys are. Messy game. Someone's going to have to win this messy game, though. And Emmitt Smith goes over 100 yards, so that's good to see. Emmitt Smith is getting close to taking the rushing lead. I think he needed 140 or something to become the rushing leader. There's a nice throw downfield to the backup tight end. And the Cowboys are on the move again.
And there they went crossing route against his own defense. What do you think of that?
It takes real coordination between the passer and the
And
receiver
up to
because
Derek
you
Lassick.
gotta read those zones
4
and when
carries
the
for
open
5
spots
yards.
are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone, sometimes you're throwing it between the zone, sometimes the receivers
Rob
just gotta find
Alwalt
a
is at
spot
the
where we can
backup
sit
tight end for the
down and
Cowboys.
present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read.
I don't have
But
anything on. I'm just kind of
really effective.
doing the lazy version, mostly just watching the game. Lassick with his best run of the day as he gets another first down. And now you're seeing the classic Cowboys in the fourth quarter where their offensive line has worn you down. Even without Eric Williams, they're still just wearing the Cardinals down. Cardinals would be thrilled if they could hold the Cowboys to a field goal here, even if they don't block it again. Detroit's one of the 0-3 teams, the 91 Lions. Emmitt Smith breaks one tackle, and he'll be in for the touchdown. Emmitt Smith did not have a touchdown in each of the first 2 games, but he has 2 here today, over 100 yards, so he's close to 300 yards on the season. And 2 touchdowns now, so that's feeling more like Emmitt Smith.
Those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they?
Okay, Awald.
He's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns.
All right, well, always good to know how to
contributing to their lead.
pronounce these players.
Continue to do so.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Yeah, Barry Sanders has this last game. He started doing some Barry Sanders things. The first 2 games, he wasn't breaking any big ones or anything, but Eric Kramer has played better than expected. So the Lions have been in every game. They've lost by 3, 3, and then 7, but they are 0-3, even though they keep making games interesting, but can never get over the hump. The Cowboys are kind of the opposite. They won their first game by 8, I think. Their second game was a little bit easier. I think they won by, I don't know, 13, between 13 and 17. Now they're winning this one by 10. So not necessarily really close games, but they're not blowing people out. Like the 84 Dolphins are a 3-0 team that have seemed to just blow out everybody. They're off to a great start. But anyone that's 3-0 at this point is off to a great start, of course. There's Jake Plummer. Oh, he tries to turn it over for the 5th time. But this time Marion doesn't want it.
It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down.
Yeah, I was... I went back and forth what I was going to do, but I decided I didn't. I don't know. I couldn't figure out how to make a team like the 66 Packers. Well, I guess you could argue who's better, the 66 or 96 Packers, but let's just say I picked the 66 Packers. I didn't know how to reconcile like the 2000s Tom Brady's Patriots team versus a Packer sweep team. Look at that. Jake Plummer puts a touchdown pass in out of nowhere, 58 yards, a breakdown in the Cowboys defense. And the Cardinals are right back in this thing. But I decided to switch to an era just because since 2000, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens had such a great defense, I wanted to keep them in there. But then since that year, it's been all offense, too much offense, too easy. And so I wanted to stay away from that. And then too old, I didn't like trying to figure out how to make Madden work with the matchups. So decided to go with this best era from 84 to 2000. But now, I don't know if you heard, I kind of talked about it last game. A follow-up to this, I don't know, it might actually get started before the season ends, but I'm also going to do something I'm going to call Classic Era, and that's going to have teams from I think I go back as far as 61. I think I threw the 61 Oilers in there. And that'll basically go from 61 up to, like, I guess you would say 84. So that'll have your 77 Cowboys, I think, is who I wanted in there. The steel curtain will be in there. I don't remember exactly what year. And I didn't pick all the teams because I would never rate 32 teams myself. Well, I would rate them, but I wouldn't go design and name 32 teams of players. So I actually had another two guys that do roster work for Madden. Did 21 or 22 of the teams. So I just have to change the ratings to the way I rate players, and then finish up 10 more teams, and I'll be able to get that thing going. That will still take a while, but 32 teams just takes like a year. So 10 teams and then fixing the ratings for the other 22 should probably only take a couple months, and I've already been doing it for about 5 weeks, so it's getting there. Steelers, let's see. The Steelers are the 1978 Steelers. The Cowboys are the 1977 Cowboys. So again, a couple other guys did the work on the rosters. I will just be re-rating for those two teams specifically. I'll just be re-rating them to make them fit with how I do ratings. Aikman in trouble, and he goes down. McCombs on the sack. That pushes the Cowboys out of field goal range. And with 5 minutes to go, the Cardinals are going to get the ball back down by just 3. So this game has been much more exciting and not at all what I expected was going to happen. Way more turnovers in total than I thought, but also with the turnover battle being not completely one-sided for the Cardinals. See, there's Jake Plummer. He definitely gets better as the game goes on. If not for that fumble, they might have this thing tied. Means that they're strong mentally. They've kind of calmed themselves down. Everyone's rallied around them. Maybe they even change. Oh yeah, I mean the Cowboys and Steelers loaded throughout the 70s. But yeah, that's going to be fun when that one. So for that one, I'm going to start that in basically the second season of the franchise. The reason being is because I'm actually going to have 2 Oilers in there. So I have the 61 Oilers as the Tennessee Titans team because they can still wear the old Oilers uniforms. And then for the Baltimore Ravens, who obviously don't have a team in the 60s and 70s or 80s, that'll be the Earl Campbell Oilers. And I actually did move them to Houston. So they will be the Houston Oilers. So the schedule will be different. It won't be exactly the same as best era football. So I don't know. I said all that to say I don't know what AFC divisions will play. NFC. Well, actually, you would know from Sack to the Future. Who did the Cowboys play? What AFC division are the Cowboys playing in Sack to the Future 1961? Because that should line up the same. I don't think it's the Steelers. That's unfortunate. I would love to see the 77 Cowboys play the 78 Steelers, but who knows? Maybe that'll be the Super Bowl of that era. Maybe that era will end with the Cowboys playing the Steelers one more time.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. Neutral zone infraction, defense.
AFC South, that's not as exciting. The AFC South, of course, with the stupid Jaguars and Texans, that's going to be the worst division. I shouldn't say worst division, but that's going to be my the division I'm least excited to watch, because obviously with the Jags and Texans, they'll have the 67 Colts, which are solid, the 61 Oilers, and then with the Jaguars, I'm moving them to Toronto, or I have moved them to Toronto, and they're basically going to be the all-stars from Canadian football from the 60s and 70s, so basically the best players from the CFL over those 23 years or whatever.
They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. And now here come the Cowboys. They have the 3-point lead. Defense did their job. Now, late game.
So the Cowboys.
They haven't counted this as a victory yet.
I agree with you totally. Big applause.
No, so for Jacksonville, I moved them to Toronto, and they are going to be the Canadian Football League All-Stars, which was the most research I had to do for this project because I only knew a few of the stars from Canadian football. And the Texans are going to stay the Houston Texans because there was a little league that never really got off the ground, but called the World Football League, and they had a team called the Houston Texans, so I'll just leave them the Houston Texans, and they will be basically the best players that played in the World Football League. And then the other one, the Panthers, are going to be the USFL, so I know that's right at the edge of that era because it's kind of 84, 85, but I'll throw them in there. Get some Herschel Walker, Jim Kelly, Steve Young action. The USFL team, which I moved to Memphis, and they're called the Memphis Steamers, but that's close enough to the Memphis Showboats, which were a real team in the USFL. So it'll be a little bit different with those extra teams, but better than just having semi-pro teams. There's a fumble forced. That was a 1st and 10. The Cowboys could have knelt 3 times. But this game is just crazy with all turnovers. Emmitt Smith gets flipped up and drops the ball. Pat Tillman jumps on it. I don't understand why they weren't just diving. Oh, yeah, I think the ball came out before he actually hit the ground. All right, so a game that just won't end for the Cowboys. It seemed like they had this thing over a few times, but somehow with 92 seconds left, Plummer gets one more chance. Plummer from the shotgun now. He'll throw it underneath. That's Metcalf. Up to the 20-yard line now. 2nd and 2. Plummer. Good job by the offensive line, giving him time. He completes it underneath the Larry Centers, and he comes out across the 35-yard line. Hurry-up offense continues from the Cardinals. 65 seconds left. Clock continuing to tick. They have 1 timeout. Plummer back to pass. He'll roll out to the right. Now he's in trouble. He escapes one man, but Casillas takes him down for a sack. And that's a huge play. That takes a lot of time off the clock. 5 sacks now for the Dallas Cowboys. All the way down to 47 seconds. Plummer will spike it into the ground. 3rd and 16. So the Cardinals need 16 yards in the next 2 plays. They can go across the middle and use a timeout if they need to, but more importantly than the time is they have to get this 1st down. Plummer drops back. Line holds up this time. He fires downfield and gets his man up near midfield. And now the Cardinals are in hurry-up mode again. They're at the 50-yard line. They need another 20 probably for a field goal, and that's spiked into the ground. 32 seconds left. This has not been easy for the Cowboys. They might get out of here 3-0, but this was tougher than expected, I would say. Plummer rolls to the right, stops, delivers it short. It would have been better to drop that one. That's just taking time off. 23, 22, 21. Cardinals need to hurry. Wasting so much time. The receiver was way downfield. We're down to, why didn't they just call a timeout? He's going to have to launch one here. He does, and he completes it. No. What a hit. Everett with the hit. And that basically might have won the game with that hit right there. Here's the throw down inside the 35-yard lines, and Everett just blast him. Oh! Incomplete. What a hit. Some hard-hitting safeties the Cowboys got. They do have a timeout, so more importantly than anything else, they need the 14 yards. Plummer, he'll launch one, and that's incomplete. There's a flag. If this is defensive pass interference, oh my. They're going to call defensive pass interference on the Cowboys. Elvis Patterson. What? The Cardinals get a gift, and Nendy comes out for a 47-yarder to tie this thing. And the Cowboys are going to try to freeze him. Jimmy Johnson got a haircut, obviously. Vince Tillman looks a lot like Jimmy Johnson. Very few customizable options for coaches. Okay, Nedney now from 47. Kick is up. It is good. I can't believe they called pass interference. Oh, man. I see at the most one pass interference call every, 3 games or so. And they call it there with the game on the line. Interesting. There's still 1 second left. Let's see if the fumble or something happens right here. Nope. All right, we're going overtime. The 93 Cowboys and the 98 Cardinals need extra time to decide who's going to win.
How much fun is this for everyone who's watching the game? How much fun is it for us to see this one get an extra period to get settled?
Well, there you go. Cowboys up by 10 at the half. They had the game won, and Emmitt Smith fumbled inside the red zone. Cardinals drove down the field. Looked like Plummer made a great throw, but Everett blasted the receiver and knocked the ball loose. Very next play, the refs call pass interference on the Cowboys, and Nedney puts the field goal through. Now the Cowboys get the ball, so that offensive line with Emmitt Smith and all those stars on offense, they can end this thing without giving Plummer another chance. But the way this game is going, I'm thinking we might see another turnover or two before it ends. Total yards, Dallas has the edge there. Rushing yards, Dallas has a huge edge. Passing yards goes to Arizona. Play action pass now. Nice blitz pickup, and Aikman's going deep, and he's got a man, and that's going to end the game. Alvin Harper on the huge 69-yard touchdown pass to end the game. Cowboys improved to 3-0. The 98 Cardinals fought hard, but they're going to leave at 1-2. The Cowboys tried to give it away, but in the end, the offense was too much for the Cardinals. Well, not sure if you enjoyed that or not, Brian, but I guess since the Cowboys won in the end, it was good, right? You have a Merry Christmas as well. Thank you very much for the wishes, and hopefully we'll be getting back to Sack to the Future in the next couple of games. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a better game than I thought it was going to be. So most of these games have been enjoyable, unless the 85 Jets have been involved, because they've been very disappointing so far. But anyways, thanks for watching, Brian, and anyone that watches this on a replay. Thanks for watching, checking out Best Era Football. This is the end of Week 3. We'll be back within the next couple days while I have time off of work, I am sure. We'll get into Week 4. Thanks again. Have a good night. Have a Merry Christmas, Brian. If anyone else happens to watch this around Christmas time, Merry Christmas to you. Otherwise, hope you did have a good Christmas. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.